be able to speak for itself. I can't give it justice without spoiling parts of the plot. And then there's, as I said earlier, the big Walfas movie, Diamond in the Rough by Spazzy himself, and the community through various means, whether it be ideas, lines, and eventually a voice production of it between the different clubs and everything.
Questions?
Yeah.
I don't know much about how communities work on DA. How do you find out, for example, that that so-and-so, someone you like, is going to do something new? Does the news just spread by word of mouth?
DA has a subscription system, kind of like YouTube. You can watch somebody and they will, whenever they submit something or do a journal or something, it'll pop up in your messages and say, hey, so-and-so has done X, Y, or Z. And
is there anything like a forum associated with the community? Is there like a forum associated with the community?
I'm sorry.
Is there a forum associated with the community?
The U-Haul actually, or the station wagon, actually does have a forum associated with it that we just got back up and running. We made it forever ago and forgot about it, and then we got it back up and running with a couple projects, group collab projects we're working on in there, and different text-based stories everybody's writing.
We also have...
After pretty much the explorer role, I think he was one of the keywords to help revive it.
Yeah, there's far more behind the scenes than just me bleaching TNA. We're actually, as I said in the beginning of that, we're actually some of the most recent admins to be added into the group. Do it.
Yeah. And, on the topic of forum, we also have like a raid call and like Skype groups that we usually talk with people, and with raid call, there's a bunch of rooms that we have like where we can play games together. We can collab together, making projects and movies and all that, and just all out chat. Yeah. So it's a really close knit group, and we're like kind of like a family.
Yeah, we've kind of grown out of the bonds of a simple DA group into something much bigger than just a art group that does various things, does different comics and different little pictures and stuff. We've grown into, honestly, a large community.
500 strong.
Which, through the community, we've actually gotten some rather strange projects going. Not just solely Walfas, like Bleach here, he does voice Let's Plays through the Walfas community. Gets different people from the groups to voice each character. Like, he recently is currently doing Final Fantasy IX voice. Unfortunately, some technical limitations have come up that we can't get around yet.
As in my discipline for my PS2 has died out.
And why don't you take the stage and talk about your various projects for a little bit? Because all these guys know I'll talk their ear off.
And maybe for the Parasitic voice acting project, it's an idea I wanted to do because originally, way before I joined the station wagon, I was originally doing a project that with Final Fantasy VII, but a lot of people actually did send me their lines, and I was kind of getting tired of it, so it sort of died out. And when I wanted to find like an idea of voice acting LP, I decided I want to make it that's like still in the Final Fantasy, but not in the big hype zone like 7 is, and Final Fantasy IX came to mind because I played through it. I actually found it honestly more enjoyable. Sorry if there's any Final Fantasy 7 fans out there. I deeply apologize. Right? But yeah, I want to take like where it was like pretty much
Yeah,
dagger.
Kiguro and Co., the same one who is behind the Crossroads trailer, actually, is one of the main characters in the series. Let me see if I can actually remember how I did the Black Waltz voice.
Oh boy.
My mission is to take back the princess. Man, I haven't done that in a long time.
Still pretty good.
That was just wild. But yeah, from simple beginnings of a simple, hey, let's make a small group of Toho fans to show off some Walfas stuff, to a 500 member plus group that spans from everywhere from Let's Plays to various just little small things.
It's also international.
It is actually. We've members all over the globe.
From Europe, Asia, South America, Central America, Australia, Canada, totally.
Yeah, everybody, a lot of people would like to have been here at TouhouCon as soon as they heard about it, and they all send their regards to everybody here.
We're hoping to see if we get more of the members actually here next year.
Yeah. Oh man. That's what I'm gonna say. I lost my train of thought.
Videos, anything? Question? Question when he gets his train of thought? Jesus has a question.
Create SWF freeware?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is 100% free. All you have to do is go to the Walfas blog itself, and then you can download it straight from there. It has every character and various different props from every Toho game, starting at the highly responsive to prayers and going up to Toho 14, Double Demon character. It's generally updated every new game. Like just recently it was updated with Seija and Sukuna and
Ben,
and her sister, which I can't say
everyone
her
else.
name for the life.
Flip Girl.
And the tools we usually use are, as always, create.swift with Walfas, and a little program called AndySnap usually, which is a screen capture program that allows you to click and drag and open whatever screen area you want to use.
Should I open up any stamp to show an example?
Not really. Let's go into kind of how the comics are made, the different ways to make a comic.
You can also use for like comics and stuff. You can use a bunch of things. Like Roy here, he uses Photoshop and like multiple things of editing to make his comics some more professional looking. I at times use at Photoshop, and like I started using Sony Vegas for video editing for like a TF2 thing for Miko Owlhead. I'm waiting for that. Oh.
Maybe you should show up a comic.
We have a couple comics on there. Unfortunately, due to different circumstances, we weren't able to get a lot of different comics to show you guys, which I would have liked. But we do have a couple. I don't actually remember who this one was by.
Also, there's the ability to use custom props. That background that in that comic is not vanilla. That is a custom.
That is not a stock back. Freaking staff. There are various stock backgrounds, which are generally Toho backgrounds, things you'll see in the background of different games, like Alice's house, Marissa's house. The Path in 10 Desires. After that, yeah. Or you can take them and you can take a regular old paint program prop or a custom background like this one here.
For example, I have a paint on field. All set Photoshop. I can use like gameplay and content for Walfas.
I think I might have remembered what I was going to say earlier. Sorry if this doesn't seem too well put together. I'm not a...
First panel.
First panel, this is the second time a Walfas panel has been run. And the other person who ran it knows Walfas like the back of his hand, because he's the one who made Diamond in the Rough. Huh? Oh, that was ACOM down in Texas.
And we're Californians, so we can come here.
But as I've said, we're more than a Walfas community between the different groups. We take videos, stories, comics, pictures, even simple stuff like a guy going down to Best Buy and hijacking their sound system to play Toho stuff.
One thing
I still wonder how HDF gets away with that.
One other thing I can add for what using Walfas is recently when I actually joined the group, I actually started using Walfas in like regular Let's Plays, like sort of like for co-commentators they have like specifically tweeting.
Actually, no, you helped me one time when I was doing Halo.
I did, but I didn't publish it very long.
Like I pretty much would get his image, put it in the corner, put ways at certain things that I find interesting or funny, and it'll be there until it's done. What it would change to some of the other comments later.
Yeah, like, kind of the same thing as the Yogscast trying to do when they switch cameras to different people. They'll have the little picture of the person appear on screen. Through some editing, Bleach here makes the Walfas character, which everybody has their own Walfas character. The program's diverse enough that you can literally make
Show that feature,
nearly
Bleach.
anything you want inside it through either custom props or just different character creation.
Yeah, just click on Miss Jizz's thing. All right, just see what random stuff happens. New character.
Yeah, hitting the new character button leads you to some interesting results sometimes. Like this.
It's a cat with wings.
Oni bird fairy thingy majigger with a top hat.
I mean, it's fanciful, but okay. Just keep showing.
If you click the new character button, it's entirely random. It takes every item, prop, and everything in the program, and randomizes it. Which means you can end up with some interesting looking characters, or you can end up with some characters that shouldn't see the light of day.
Like eye hanging out and like their mouth is like the.
You can also change things like if you go to hat here, click on, you can get rid of hat, back, you can like give some like certain wings that you want and such. Like it's just pretty much a different character. I'm not gonna really say it, but let's just say we get this instead. So you can pretty much change that character to look better if you know how.
Yeah. And joining in on the groups, we have various different guides and everything for everything from how to make a comic to how to edit your comic to look like someone took it, threw it into Photoshop, and then pulled the result out and was like, here is my amazing piece of work that I managed to do with the simplest of tools. Like, you can go from this to something like you saw in Mickey's video. All the different comics and everything in the background of that were all submitted to the various clubs. And and just taken for the video.
There's also
though the comics and the videos are often the most well-known part of the groups, we tend to show off a lot of different works, whether it's Walfas-based improv skits, where we just jump on a stream, all start doing a random improv, and just see what happens in the end. One of those streams one of the improv streams that has become one of the most popular things we've done on stream is everybody wants to meet Yomu in front of a live studio audience, film in front of a live studio audience. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to do one of those in a long time, but those get ridiculous. I mean, just the premise is ridiculous. But as I keep saying, there's a lot of different things to the community. There's stories, there's
art.
I'm repeating myself now.
Yeah. Question.
Yes.
So you don't talk much with the other groups. Is there much drama between the groups?
No, actually. Most of the groups are kind of collaborative, and if one work goes into one group, another work goes into another group. Generally, people work together throughout the different groups, but every group kind of has its own thing going on. Since the raid call and Skype chats kind of came together, all the groups have been coming more and more together into coherent, one giant Walfas community, which actually is exemplified in a series that I actually started making recently called the Walfas Station Wagon in Tokyo, which is a simple collab story RP giant crossover madness mess. And I say mess in the best of ways because we just got started and it's so far gotten a lot of high-profile people in the community together into one big project, which is a simple concept of what if we were all thrown into Gensokyo, all of our author avatars were thrown into Gensokyo without any story behind it. Like, they can have story outside of Gensokyo, they can have all the backstory they want, but we have no canon character interactions, no real knowledge of what's going on, and no rules, in a sense. And we're actually just starting our first real incident. It's gonna end up being kind of a retelling of the Touhou canon through what if this group was there? And there's gonna be, like, all the incidents are gonna be bigger, they're gonna be badder, they're gonna be more overblown than ever. And just ham it up, is basically the way I'm saying it to everybody, is you have your characters, you can throw them in any situation you want, and let's see how Gensokyo and the rest of us react to what's been going on. Like, we've already had alliances happen, team-ups happen, incident resolvers get in on the case, and this is before even the Scarlet Devil Mansion incident starts. And that's Walfas Station Wagon in Tokyo is one of the biggest examples of how the group is starting to come together, because it has everybody from the leaders of Walfas Club 1 to some of the just random members from the Station Wagon and Walfas Club 2 to just, it's kind of entertaining to see just how much everybody likes working with each other in that kind of situation.
Anything else to show for questions?
It is a ongoing story. It started out, and as soon as TouhouCon is over, the first actual comic, the stage 1 comic of the base raiding incident, which is what everybody's tentatively calling it, because it's an incident where a futuristic military base just appears in the middle of nowhere with 4 different people sitting inside it wondering why the hell they went back in time about 10 years. And that, the first incident comic of Reimu and Marissa going out to investigate is going to be put out as soon as TouhouCon is finished. And then it's basically everybody who wants to join in on the incident can go through and find they find their own stage 1 and stage 2 bosses, and then they get into the real fight, which is, as always, the first 2 Touhou bosses have nothing to do with the incident. Well, almost never. And then stages 3 through 6 and extra stage generally start getting into the meat of the incident. But you can check that out. It has its own group called WSWG, Walfas Station Wagon in Tokyo. And on DA, if you go to the main Station Wagon page, you can find that through the affiliates. We have another project that is showing across